Listen. Yeah. Yes, God. Get that out of
Man, as I thought I had this locked down, clearly it's not where it needs to be. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Matty-Rants. Thank you so much for tuning in today on this afternoon, evening, or morning, whatever time of day you are celebrating. Let's talk about it, because as much as I was down for the count as far as not being in the best weather, y'all know I wasn't feeling good starting, back on Saturday going into Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday, I was barely holding on for dear life. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like, ooh, something has hit me hard. I'm starting to feel a lot better, to be honest with you. I can tell, like, still a little scratch in my throat, but that's why you're probably going to hear me talk like this for the majority of the show versus going into my full preamble of Maddie. But so much went down. I was like, first of all, we saw one person who was honestly unhinged past the point of any sort of redemption go into a spiral of tweets that basically surmise that there is nothing redeemable about this individual, qualities, then some, and therefore. We have another individual whose name ends with something that should relate to something funny, but oftentimes big-headedness really does get in their way. There are points that are made that honestly I can say, I can see where you're coming from, but I also feel a ways because you've sat on that platform and decided to show your phobias and then some and talk a little too much, in my personal opinion. And someone did a better job than you. And I do feel that you were threatened. So I think that two things can be true. You were disrespected at your workplace, but you also weren't respecting the workplace. Apparently, we had to see a whole office meeting happen in real time, along with public opinions coming in to then speak on it. Should have never happened, should have never been there, but that's where we're at. And apparently the Breakfast Club told us that's what we needed that morning. Also, we've got some new images from the Mortal Kombat movie that came out, with some fans being a little upset that Carl Urban is Johhny Cage, but we kind of knew that already. So why are we angry? I don't know. The images look a little, I'm gonna be real, but I'm also going to watch this movie because I did like the first one and I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Coco 2 has been greenlit. Discussions will be made there. Jonathan Majors decided that the forgiveness should be done, thy will, if you will. And he was on a whole tour, basically trying to get that one little sparkle back, including marrying former pastor's wife, Megan Good. But then the audio leaked of him admitting his action. Oh, Sherry Shepherd, with Wendy Williams coming off of her conservatorship, I don't know anymore about you, Miss Girl. But yeah, we're going to get into a lot of those hot topics. But what we'll first talk about today is my experience with the Sailor Moon Super Live that came to Houston, Texas. I should say Sugarland last night. And I got a first hand experience of the event, and I will give you my full review to start this video up today before we get into those really piping hot golden tea that we need to do, and I'll give my personal opinions today. Hey, Liam, thank you for being here, my good friend. Liam is our moderator today, and Rick gonna be pulling in a little bit later on this week. They have a lot going on, and I just recently read their message on Blue Sky, so we're gonna give Emrika some grace here while they get everything taken care of at home, but they will have the timestamps up towards the weekend, and I'll make sure to pin those. But as you can see, Liam will be here to help keep this a safe space for all of us to have a conversation about any sort of topic that we're talking about today, and not have to get into full engaging arguments over nonsense, because we're grown and we should be acting like it. If you can see, I did get merch yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not get the light stick. That is going to be one thing that I scream and rant about when it comes to Sailor Moon Live, as well as the security at this event. That was a little bit much, but the performance itself was amazing. So all of my links are in the about section of this YouTube channel. If you want to catch my reactions on Patreon, it's for as low as $1 a month. I'm covering 3 shows on there currently right now with RuPaul's Drag Race, The White Lotus, and the new show that I'm covering. Well, it's not new, but it's kind of new to me, and I just started watching it, is Severance. And I have officially started that show on Patreon. And of course, I will be talking about it here and there on this channel until I am fully caught up and do a full video summarizing my what in the world am I watching. But I gotta say, after the first episode, everybody's been recommending it to me. I'm like, God, here's another subscription for $10. My Jesus. That first episode was worth it. I was like, oh, I'm hooked. Oh, this is gonna be good. I was like, oh, this is going to be good. It's going to be a great show. So I've only seen 1 episode so far of season 1. I am aware of what Severance is now because I was like, what is the point of this show? Everybody getting fired? Maybe. We'll see. But I like it so far, so we'll get there. But my Patreon's a little litty, so go ahead and join that Patreon. The low is $1 a month. Again, everything is all in my about section. I did get a camera request earlier yesterday while I was at the Sailor Moon live show. I will get that fulfilled for you this evening. But yes, I'm going to try to do a video tomorrow, depending on how I feel. If not, I will be here for Saturday and Sunday for sure. But if you do miss me tomorrow, just know it's not like intentional, like, oh, I'm not trying to work or anything like that. It's just I got a lot going on in the background right now, and we're trying to also find a new apartment currently as I speak. My lease ends in October, and y'all know I've renewed this place like 3 times, and it's time to just let this apartment go. I'm not even gonna lie to you. On top of, I've been searching for a car, searching for a job. Had to get all these new things taken care of because of all the stuff that's happening with the state as far as like medications being access to and all this, that, and the other. I've had to do a lot of work in the background of making sure my paperwork is together, things that and the other. For those of you who've been wondering about the passport process, it's in process, which gagged me because I was like, you said it was going to be 2 weeks before you even touched it. But if you remember, I got it expedited. So 6 days. And this is just a reminder for those of you who are very much like, hey, like, Maddie, I want to get a passport too. And you're trying to like figure this out. That expediting, 6 days, girl. And they got the paperwork. I was like, oh, I was highly expecting 2 weeks. And again, they tell you do not immediately think everything's going to go through like that. Say be patient because it's a lot of people applying for passports right now. But I got lucky, I guess, with the 6 days. Again, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to go through everything and if I filled out everything correctly, but we shall see. Everything should be correct on the paperwork because baby, I sat there for hours making sure, called every family member I knew to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. But again, yes, the passport process is underway. As a reminder, I will be in Mexico in May, and I'm actually debating on getting a GoPro. And I know someone's like, now you out here with your little Cash App and all that stuff. Now calm down, Suzanne. Calm down, Susie Carmichael. You better calm down. Yeah, I know I'm not the richest girl. Gwen Stefani. No, I'm not. But I do have credit when it comes to being able to purchase something at a particular store. Now, I don't know how I got it, but I got it. And I was like, yay, that's a sign my credit's getting better. All right, being an adult. But I do know I can get one and I can pay for it in 4 installments. And I'm trying to figure out if that's something I want to do. So I'm currently going over the itinerary with my friends right now, because technically, even if I buy it and I use it for the trip to Mexico, the next time I go on a trip, I would want to be able to use this same GoPro so I can actually do the active content and this, that, and the other, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to talk myself into this because there is a kayak. We do have a kayaking trip. We have a snorkeling moment. We're going to be on a yacht, and there's also going to be like some sort of diving thing I get to do. I'm one of the only people that knows how to do that, as well as I'm licensed. I also need to low key see if I can renew something, or if I can, I don't know how they're going to do it when we get out there, but I need to make sure that I'm at least up to date on my paperwork for that in case I do get that opportunity. So I'm like, I kind of want to see if I can do something way more active, because the last trip I did, it was fun. And I did show y'all some of it. And this trip, I do want to also have a vacation because we're going to be there for like 4 or 5 days. However, one of the days in particular, it's going to be a lot. And I'm like, ooh, that would be the day. That would be the day. We're all supposed to have so much fun that day, but it's supposed to be a day of like so much activity. And I do want to show it because it is something you could do whenever you do travel out there. It's a part of a package. It's a part of like a group experience with friends. And I think that would be a great way to like showcase, hey, if you ever were out here, da 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 da. I've seen some videos, this and the other. And of course, I have never been out the country, unfortunately. And I don't count Jamaica as that experience since they don't count that out here, and etc. As well as, yep, that's it. So for me, it's like, do you need a real ID in Texas? Okay, Johhny, I'm going to answer that. And we're going to move into this, but I can answer that actually very well because I've been doing so much research. So your real ID, let's say you're in Texas, is your driver's license. And I'm going to tell you why. On your driver's license, I'm not going to pull mine up, for example, because people are crazy. If yours is up to date with the real ID information, there will be a star on it. And every state apparently has some sort of symbol that recognizes that as a real ID now. It's something else too. I think it also has like a holographic thing when they shine a light on it. But mostly if you have renewed your driver's licenses recently, I don't know how long it's been for some of you, and you notice you got it back and it looks a lot different, that's your real ID. I was like, oh, I did get a passport card because that is acceptable when you're doing land or sea and you're traveling out the country. Like say, for example, you are doing a cruise or you're driving across the country and you want to go across the border. So like a passport card is acceptable in those cases outside of just a passport. But if you wanted to get a passport because you're like, I want to fly somewhere, you won't need the passport, but not the card. The card's not going to get you on the plane. FYI. Because someone was like, well, why would I pay $130 for the passport and I can pay $30 for the card? Well, baby, because one is for the land. And while you can do all that, and that's fine, they're worried about you getting on that plane, girl. Also, Tito Burrito, thank you for saying this because this is true. And this is what they told us at the office. When it's time to renew, do not wait last minute. Don't wait. They said do not wait a month before. You need to do it months in advance. Like, you know, it's the year it's going to expire, right? Don't do it a month in advance or weeks in it. No, baby. This is not the same as you getting your driver's license and then like being, okay, we can return it back. It's all good. You go, They said do it early. Do it early because there are people who are renewing too. It's almost like this can be like the same time process. Yeah. Minimum 6 months before. Talk about it, Liam. It's the truth because it can take forever. And I was like, oh my God. So like, yeah, it's a lot to take in. But they said, just be on it because if I forget, if it expires, you have to redo the whole process again. You don't want to do that. And then like, that's going to also have some red flags. Like, why didn't you renew it on time? And you don't have to deal with all that kind of stuff. So there's just more. Exactly. Agencies are becoming more short-staffed and times are starting to change. So again, getting this passport now, I was like, okay, this is great. But I was nervous if I waited any longer. What if something else happens? You know how this world's going. I'm not trying to point fingers right now, but it's what is going to happen now? Who's going to get in front of the camera who is not qualified today and tell me something that's changed with my country? I'm just not doing this right now. So yeah, just be on it and you should be good. Okay. So this disclaimer is really not for the Sailor Moon Super Live. This is more so for all the hot topics I'm going to talk about today because there are going to be some opinions, baby. This program is for entertainment purposes only, and content is not intended to malign any religion, race, company, individual, gender, or wigs. All opinions are expressed by myself. They're just my personal views. They don't reflect the opinions of everyone on the planet. Do not send hate to any of the shows or individuals mentioned on this program. If you don't like something like that, just block these people or mute them on your timelines. Just don't send hate to them. Grab your libations and strap in. I'm a little bit of a talker. Don't post these posts in chat. If you feel uncomfortable viewing this program, consume some activity and have yourself a good poot. And if you wanted to drop a little tippy poo in my jar, maybe you want to help me get that GoPro, or possibly just send me a little love. It does go a long, long way. I'm a single father of 2 wonderful kids. For kids. PayPal.me/Matty-Rants, Cash App, I'm at Matt924, and Venmo Matty-Rants. It's not necessary for your participation today, but it's always appreciated. And again, what is really necessary is you hitting that thumbs up button, liking this video, and of course, leaving a comment in the chats. Now, I would like you to do me a favor. Like, I was trolled not too long ago by some mean people because I didn't care for a certain person who took his baby mama drama onto the internet. If you want to make sure I get more than 1,000 views in these lives, make sure you rewatch these videos or put them in your watch laters, but also make sure you share them on your other pages too. And let's get these videos up. So that way it's not just the Drag Race channel, but the channel that covers a multiple assortment of things. As the only way Tinkerbell can stay alive is if you continue to feed me fairy dust. Jesus, I fucked that all up. Now, how am I going to ask you to do something I can't even word it? I can't. But we're going to start with Sailor Moon Super Live today, because we were going to start this on a very nice note, on all the happiest place on the planet that I was. I'm like, if this is an indication of where my year is going and it's already March, I think I'm going to be okay for 2025. I'm doing a lot of positive work, both with therapy as well as spiritually, a lot of reconnecting with family, a lot of removing myself from situations that are not beneficial spiritually inside for me. Nothing to do with financial wise, because money can come, money can go, things can happen, anything can go up, down, whatever the round. But if it's not something that's feeding me emotionally, spiritually, and I can't give back, I remove myself hence from it. And it's been doing so much wonders for me lately, as well as not continuing on with arguments or expressing stuff with attitude. And maybe my words can be misconstrued, or maybe my actions can, but nothing is ever meant to be malicious. And I'm all about, okay, what's wrong? Let's talk it out. If we can't move from this, we must remove from this, because I'm not going to be able to carry this into another day. You know what I mean? That's just not where I'm at right now with my life. And so I feel like I'm ready to tackle most of the things that I currently have in front of me. Ooh, my throat. Sorry. My throat is still a little tickly. It's a little tickly right now. We haven't had a fever in 2 days, which is the best part, because Monday and Tuesday, your boy was at 101. So I was like, what is going on? But right now, it's just my throat's just a little tad bit tickly, and everything feels like it's leaving my body. Like, you know how you are when you're sick and you get a little phlegmy and you're like, okay, why is that so dark? Okay, girl, that's because you're sick. It's the colors have gotten lighter every day. So I'm just like, okay, we're getting better. But relaxing, not stressing, taking my vitamins, and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, as well as drinking water like nobody's business. But I really want this to be over with because I'm ready to work out. Our PV trip is during Pride. I will be at Pride in Mexico. I will be at Pride. I'm gagged because I really thought they were playing with me when they were talking about it. No, they're dead serious. Like, excuse me. They know I don't do big crowns. They know I don't do things like that. It bothers me a tad bit. I am able to deal with stuff, but I'll be at Pride in a whole other country. I thought that was good. It's going to be amazing. So I'm receiving it as it's going to be the funnest time ever. Like my friend says, our itinerary is deep, so we're barely going to be at our Airbnb in the first place, which I'm like, says you, bitch. I'm the oldest one in this group. If I gotta take a break, honey, I'm out. Where's the Uber? But yes, like I'm ready for this vacation. Y'all don't know. I need it so bad. I need a good recharge. I need some of that sun. I've been practicing my Spanish. I'm getting a little bit better at it. So like, I'm getting a little bit better. Very, little bit better. There's a couple of moments where I'm like, I have to redo this all over again. But mi amo, Matty-Rants, probably did that wrong. Bienvenue. That's French. Is that also Spanish? They're kind of coincide together. There's a lot of things working. We're gonna get there. I can order food right now. I can. We're gonna get better because I told myself I want to know a little bit of Spanish when I get there, so it's not like I'm like, hello, donde es? I don't want to be that guy. And I also don't want to have my phone up with a Google Translator link. I don't want to do that. This seems rude. So I'm like, Bunny, how you doing, baby? Hey, everybody that's in the live chat right now. Also, shout out to JMCL. Thank you for the first tippy poo of the day. I totally encourage super chats as well, y'all. Thank you so much for the flowers. I appreciate you, baby. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Let's get to the Sailor Moon Super Live right now. Let's get into it today. Let's talk about it and so many other topics too. I'm so excited. Sorry, y'all. Get my throat together. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Is my do not disturb on? I don't feel like it's on. There we go. Sounds all notifications. Okay. Do I have some of the footage from the Sailor Moon Super Live? I did post it on my social medias, but I was able to get a little bit of it. I did get the merch while I was there. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me remove this real quick. So I have the shirt right now. Sorry, this is the shirt. I'm trying to get in the shot here. This is the shirt. This is a small. Yeah, bitch, he can fit a small now. Hold on. And there's the back of the shirt that has like all the Sailor Scouts with the tour dates on it and everything. It's a blue shirt too. So if you're like, it's a black one, they have a black one, but the black one doesn't have this print on it. It only has like the name and then the rest on the back. But I wanted the print. So like, that's where we're at. But yes. Yeah. I can fit a small now. Wow. It's not like this when I went and bought this the other day with Bleecker, shout out to Bleecker. And we were getting shirts and I said small and I said it with the utmost confidence. And it was Bleecker was like, are you sure? And I'm like, I know. This is my first small purchase because I haven't purchased a small shirt in so long. I've always been, I didn't feel my body was ready for a small because I'm like always was like a little pounchy, didn't have my body together or was working out like vigorously, right? So yeah, I got it. Put that bitch on. I was like, I was so hyped. Sorry to brag about that, but as someone who's been working on their physical fitness lately, that was a victory for me. I was like, fuck, I bought my first small shirt. Who am I? What is this? What's going on? Bunny, were you there last night? Because I put this on God. I thought for the life of me I saw you, but I was like, that's not Bunny. I was like, no, I would like and it was even someone who parked next to us. I was like, is that Bunny? That was you were there. Hold on now, bitch. Why didn't I see you? What the hell? What the hell? And you have my phone number too. Big pregnant and all. Girl, I'm mad. Okay, I'm not gonna yell at you because my throat's not right there. But Bunny, I wanted to see you. If I had known that, the hell? Oh God. I gotta see you soon. It's been too long, baby. It's been way too long. I don't like that. I'll see you soon. And pregnant? Now I gotta get you some. See? See? Glad you're here, Lovey. You've been low-key since the pregnancy. I understand that. No, I'm gonna get you some. I'm gonna get you some diapers for when the baby comes. I know that my sister, like she said, you can give me some diapers, motherfucker. We'll be all right. Let me on that first put. Yeah, got you, sis. Got you, baby. I got you. Come on, shout out to Bunny. Congratulations on the pregnancy. Love you, baby. Um, okay. I'm due in June. I'll be ready to pop out in August. Oh my goodness. Okay. So in June, okay, so I need to make sure I get you some of the good stuff. A little sensitive for the babies. Little diapers right on over there. So to the Sailor Moon Super Live that was yesterday, um, I will say the weather in Houston is so unpredictable. So if you were outside and it was windy then yes, you were like me, really very much yelling at the universe for not having a jacket, knowing you're getting over a cold. So what the is wrong with you, right? But the Sailor Moon Super Live is the North American tour. They haven't apparently toured the North America the North America. Oh God, I sound like that ass. North America since the 90s. So 30 something years ago, which is wild to think about since I was born in 86. So it's like, but I didn't get to see it when I was a kid because of course my parents were going to take me to anything like that. But as an adult, I want to give a shout out to Bleecker and Bleeker's mom because whenever I don't even know what month Bleecker hit me up about this, but when they did, Bleecker was like, "Hey, Maddie, did you know at the Super Live?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm so like that's so cool. I wish I could go." And Bleeker's like, "Well, I'm getting us tickets." And my mom's also like bopping in on this too. I'm like, what? And I thought it was just so super sweet and awesome. And I do love Bleecker so very much. Y'all know Bleecker is one of my besties. And we've done a couple of shows together and they've even been on the panel before. And I've known them since I lived in Los Angeles at one point in time. And now Bleecker is out here in Texas, not in Houston. But they came down from Austin to experience the show with me. And then we also had brunch this morning before they went back home. So shout out to Bleecker. We had a great time. But yeah, we got to the event at the Sugarland Center. I wore one of my favorite shirts that I always wear because I really don't have that much Sailor Moon merchandise like I want to. Everything else is kind of back here. And I didn't want to take it in because they were already being weird about stuff. We'll get there in a second. Hair looking a mess for me, Bleecker looking great. But yes, we were outside enjoying this wind and we were very much trying to get inside. The merch, this is the merch. And I'm going to highlight it the way it needs to be. Okay. So over here is a light stick. The one thing I wanted so bad. And they had a limited quantity of. And as I'm standing in line ready to get said light stick, because at one point in the show, they want you to use your light sticks for a specific part of the show. It's supposed to be like audience participation. The problem is you had a limited quantity and there were a lot of people that were there. So there weren't that many light sticks that were being used later, but I digress. I was pissed because all I didn't even want this shirt. I wanted that light stick, baby, because it could change colors and it had Venus on it and it could turn orange. And I hate orange, but the only time I love orange is, okay, anyway, there you go. So it's tote bags, t-shirts, different kinds of varieties, sweatshirt, cutoff shirts, posters, this and the other. They ran out of posters and they ran out of light sticks. It was wild. It was wild. To the girl who sat in front of us, I don't know why you wanted your light stick to be dead ass on in front of your face, but it was kind of funny because it looked like as the TV glows from behind you. Unfortunately for Bleecker, it was like there was someone who had their brights on the right peripheral side. It was really ridiculous. Like y'all have got to do a little better with that. But no, this is us walking in. And we were trying to get to our seats. And of course, it's already set up. This is the same place that the Work the World tour does their show. So if you are actually going to go to Work the World out here in Houston, this is where it's going to be at the same low key. It's going to be at the same location. And it's a big place to like do a show. They have an upper level, lower level, all that kind of stuff. So the entire show is based around season 1 of Sailor Moon with elements of Super Sailor Moon, the movie. Okay. But more so based on season 1. The one thing that's missing, and I'm going to give you I'm going to let you know what's missing, is that they do not do any of Usagi's like friends that don't have powers. Like I forget what the girl and the boy who end up getting together. I forget their names or whatnot, but they're not the focus here. It is really Usagi-chan and all the Sailor Scouts, and it's sort of like a speed run into their fight with Queen Beryl, if you will. But it's also more manga adapted than it is the anime adaptation. Also, and you'll notice that too when they're doing sort of like these intros at the beginning of the show, and they show like the actual manga art of the characters with their names, this, that, and the other. The entire show is in Japanese. There are subtitles in the background. They don't play like subtitles on a TV show. They play like there's a big giant heart, and all of a sudden, as they're singing, you're going to see the words that they're saying pop up. Even when they're acting, the same thing happens. Like if Mamoru is talking compared to Usagi, it's going to be like a different way the words will come up and all that kind of stuff. So you can follow along. But what's really crazy, and I hate that I'm this guy, and it lets me know I watch way too much anime, I wasn't even like reading the subtitles because I already knew what the fuck was going on. Like I was reading some of them going up and down like that, but the rest of it I was like, oh, I know, yeah, that's right, ooh, that's right, ooh, yeah. It was very much, if you're a super fan of Sailor Moon, honey, you're about to be fed. Now, I do have a tad bit of let me see if it pops up here. They would not let you, they're not going to let you film. I don't know if this was every area, because every YouTube video I found about this, people had video footage. So I was like, what are they talking about? They would not let us film into a certain part of the show. You will think the show ends at one point in time. And you're like, oh, can we film now? But you just don't know. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. There was one time we were like, oh, it's over. Okay, so we can pull out our cameras. And we weren't supposed to. And yeah, I'm going to say me and Bleeker got into it with security. I'm just going to let you know that now. To the stud that thought she was doing something, yeah, were you going to kick us out at the last 5 minutes? Because you gave way too much. It was way too much. And I'm glad that everybody around us felt our power in that moment, because everyone was so fucking scared. And I'm like, stop. Like, you're doing too much. Like, why are you hovering over me, girl? Like, we had our phones in our laps. And the camera was ready to go. And we were doing one of these moments of like, okay, not yet. Okay, not yet. We kept doing that, and we weren't filming anything. I had someone like dead ass looking at my phone, like the bitch. I almost, woo-wee. I was like, yo, I'm not in the mood right now. The dude behind me has been coughing this entire show, right? At all. This is my favorite shit ever, and you're giving me this much. I'm not trying to steal anything for YouTube, sweetheart. And no, none of us here are trying to record the entire show. We were just waiting for specific moments to then jump in, but we didn't get the cue until later, okay? So what had happened was she tried to start a whole argument with me and Bleeker. That wasn't going to go down. Another one of them hobbled on over there trying to get us to be like, hey, and then we're like, hello, we had to point at people. Because there were people, you could see people pulling out their phones all over the place. Security scrambling. Put that down, put that down. It's like, what are you doing? It was a little too much. And so I love how once they ran from us, everybody in our section was like, bitch, thank you. Clock, clock, clock. Because it was like, what are y'all doing? Like, let them grab at least one shot of something. We're not recording, okay? I can get it to musical, though, and no one's there to actually, like, you need to be watching the show. No one was there to record it, though. Like, people were dressed up in Sailor Moon regalia. Like, whether it was a t-shirt like me or somebody was dressed as Tuxedo Mask, a few people were. There were several, Amy's out there, Mercury's. There were several Saturns and all this. Girls, men, everybody was dressed up. They, them, all that. Everybody was dressed up. People were magical girls, period, last night. So it was like, no one is trying to steal this from anyone. We're just trying to enjoy the show. Regardless of all that, this is a point where I actually could film. And yes, they did do the original song. For those of you who are wondering, they actually performed a lot of the songs that you hear at the end of the show. Like, when the scene's wrapping up and it's like the final music while the credits are playing, they did a couple of those. They definitely did the Fighting Evil, but they did the original version of that. So it was great to hear. And also there was another version of the song that I really, really liked that I thought was really great. Now I'm going to tell you, because Sailor Moon's not the first magical girl. There's definitely other magical girls before her that started like in the 80s, I believe, going into the 90s, and well, really the 80s, I should say late 70s going into the 80s with certain shows. But Sailor Moon is the blueprint for sure for the rest of them, because she set the bar. That was the bar when it came to Sailor Moon, as far as, oh, that's how it's supposed to be giving. See you next Tuesday. All right. And then everybody else followed through from there. Because there's a video on YouTube, I wish I linked it. There's a video on YouTube about some other girls that were magical girls before Sailor Moon. Their transformations were trash, though. No shade. When you get to Sailor Moon, it's like, oh, that's how this is supposed to look. Got it. They had the idea, but oh. Mm. I'm like, I need y'all to know Sailor Venus was doing the most, and I was living for her. She was hitting her marks hard, bro. I was like, yes, girl, she better be eating the choreography up. Honestly, it was an awesome show. I fucking lived and breathed for all of it. There goes Tuxedo Mask. This is towards the end of the show as well. They're doing the fighting, they're doing all that kind of stuff. God of the Moon, all that kind of bed. They're doing all of that. It's just a good time, honestly. What am I looking for? I feel like I had something that I did catch. I did capture something that was in a segment where they're like, no phones. I'm like, I'm not going to film this. I do want a picture, because there is no way on God's green earth that y'all are not showing this as a part of the promo. Baby, I bought my ticket just from seeing that one picture. I have to also admit, Queen Beryl, my God. Queen Beryl sang her ass off. I'm not going to lie. Usagi-chan was singing. Sailor Moon was singing her ass off. Queen Beryl, though, was chewing them girls alive. They gave her this Vegas-style number, like, and she was singing, bitch. I was like, oh, my God, this lady is oh, yeah, everybody, we were a round of applause. Like, bitch, I don't know if you, Bunny, I'm shocked you didn't hear me, because I was giving commentary the entire time I was there. I was like, come on, Beryl with the range. I said, Beryl got some seasoning in that throat. I just was like, oh, right, come on with the vibrato. Oh, she was singing down. Now, there was one Sailor Scout in particular who is not a singer by any means necessary, but she still looked cute, and I enjoyed her choreography, and she was wonderful. Mercury. She's not a singer. 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 She was sweet, though, and there are other girls who did just fine too. That one in particular, see, I gave Jupiter a pass because, like, I could see those rose earrings from all the way over where I was, so I had to give her time. But Mercury girl, I was like, woo-wee. Every time they let her like sing, honey, off key. I was like, damn. And then when they were harmonizing, Mama's mic was too loud. It was like, ooh, bring hers down. She's taking over the others. Venus was fine. Mars was chewing. Jupiter, she was all right. Mercury, Usagi-chan, yes. Now, Mamu-chan, mind you, my cats are named after these people, so I better had been at this, okay? Minako, Venus, that's my tortoiseshell tabby. And then, of course, my black cat is named Mamu-chan, which is after Mamoru, which is Endymion, which is Tuxedo Mask. I thought Tuxedo Mask was a woman at first, because the way he was walking, I was like, girl, why he walking like that? I said, oh, this is the oh my God. Y'all had to see how this man was walking, y'all. I was like, now hold on, girl. You ain't got no booty. Why you throwing in them hips like that? There ain't no ass back there. She throwing legs and hips and body. Let's get it, girls. I was like, this is wild. This is wild. But there was the part, I said something so fucked up. It was a man. We figured it out. I was like, oh, okay. Like, it didn't matter, but at one point I was like, I'm confused. So, like, where was I? Hold hold on. Bleeker just texted me because I just made it home. LOL. And I just started my live talking about Sailor Moon part. LOL. Thanks again for tuning in. Hit the like button, everybody. I'm just describing my Sailor Moon live experience in case you want to go, because they're on the North American tour right now, and there are currently still dates that are available. So I would suggest checking it out if you are interested, because I personally did enjoy my experience overall. Where am I at with this? Okay, so yeah, basically the show starts with Sailor V. Oh, shout out to all of us who are like real fans that know about that, because I thought that was so fucking cool. I was like, oh my god. They're starting off with Sailor V, like almost like Usagi's watching like the show and seeing like the whole like, oh, Sailor V once again saves the day, right? And then you see her mom for like 5 seconds or whatever. You never see the brother, you never see the dad, not necessary nor needed, no whatever. And it's a full Usagi-chan like, I'm to school. I'm the girl. It's it was so cute. And then like she introduces her friends. She hasn't met Venus yet. So she introduces like Ray, like she introduces like Amy first. And then we do Ray. Oh, I love how they did Ray, because they made sure everyone's outfits were correct. They had them in their correct schoolgirl outfits, because Ray went to a different school and so did Jupiter. So it's like, please make sure you do this correctly for us fans here. And then also when the outfits came up, yes, everybody was appropriate in the right attire, shoes, everything. Nothing was off. I was so happy. Crash, thank you so much for the super chat. Sailor Moon Live looks like it was so much fun. I'm so glad you and Bleeker got to live your magical girl fantasy. It looks like a production. Oh, it was. You'll be happy to know, 95-minute show. No intermission. I was so happy. It's basically going to go see a movie. It's going to go see a movie. No intermission. We did not have to sit there and go eat popcorn in the aisles and they'd be like, oh my God, they come back. Another 2 hours of A, B, C, D, E, F. Nope. Nope. 95-minute show. Going from Usagi as a schoolgirl, finding out that she has her powers, to meeting Mamu-chan, and it's all quick. It's like it's like a speed run of Sailor Moon. If you don't know, it's actually would be a nice way for people who had no idea what's going on to just sort of like go through it and get into it real quick. But as fans, it's like a speed run. Very much that. And also, there is no Artemis. I was a little sad. Where's my Artemis doll? Oh, Mina's got it. Oh, in case y'all didn't know, that's one of Mina's new like cuddle buddies. That's where that Artemis toy has been. It's like I haven't been able to find it, and I know it's under the bed now because she likes to take it under there and cuddle with it, which I think is wild. But I'm like, okay, work. There's no Artemis. There is Luna though, but Luna is on a screen. There's no like cat that runs on stage or a person dressed as a cat. That's not gonna happen. It's like all on the screen. Okay. And then Luna just basically tells them what needs to happen. Luna is literally the narrator trying to like progress the story. That's about it. If they do any of their moves, the special effects are all on the screen. Venus had the most. Venus. They gave you multiple choice answers. They also showed Venus's sword from the manga, and I was gagged. Gagged. They included the fact that she is the leader of the Sailor Scouts, and they made that very evident and clear, because a lot of people who are fans of Sailor Moon do not understand that Usagi-chan, who is Sailor Moon, is not the leader of the Sailor Scouts. She is simply being protected by the Sailor Scouts. Those are her bodyguards. Did you not know this? Well, now you do. They're her sisters. They all live in the Moon Kingdom, and they all represent different planets, though, because Venus was basically guardian of Venus, Sailor Jupiter, guardian of Jupiter. Like that's the premise here, and they all come to the Moon Kingdom, et cetera, and they need to make sure that Princess Serenity, Sailor Moon, y'all know the work. So it's oh honey, the Sailor V fan, the fact that they started it with Sailor V, I was like, okay, we're going down a great road. We're going on a great road. Then when they let Venus do multiple attacks out of everybody, I was like, oh my God, she got 3. They did the wink chain. I thought that was wild. I was like, oh my God. Then they did the Venus, like, I forget, love vibration. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Then they did the sword. And when the sword came out, I said, wait a minute. Stab Queen Barrel and everything, girl. I was like, what? Like, you had to see me in my seat. And I was sitting next to Shots, the little baby girl next to me. She's a Venus fan too. So all my commentary Venus related, she was like, bitch, I was living through you. I was like, girl, always a Venus fan. Always. Where is my doll? Always. Oh, and she was hitting the pose perfectly. I was so y'all don't know. I was so happy. I shed 3 tears during that, and I had to like thug it up. I was like, okay, Matt, it's cool. It's cool. You're living your life a little bit through this. That's all right. You're living your life a little bit through this. It's okay. It's been a rough week. You know, you've been sick, girl. You've been feeling better. Oh, I didn't need all this. I was living. But basically, it is that first season run. It doesn't include Dark Lady, none of that. That's not a part of the storyline. None of that's there. It's none of this. It's that first Queen Barrel run. It's that very much, you know, I'm trying to like take the energy from everybody, full bit, and then the Sailor Scouts have to stop them. Sailor Moon does do the tiara once. Terrible. She does moon healing escalation. And then what was the other one? And then the rest of it's like very silver crystal, like energy teas, full on that. But I will give it to the girl who played Sailor Moon. She was amazing. She was amazing. That was Usagi-chan down. A thicker Usagi-chan based on how they draw her. But yeah, she was cutting up. I was here for Miss Mother. Mama was doing the do. Now, did I catch this? Yes. Did they show this? Yes. Do you need to go just for this part? Yes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, Bunny, this is around the time when they came over and they're like, put your phone down. And I had got it. I was like, got it. Don't even, already, because what I did was that flash, snap. I was like, now this I'm going to need, because there is a part in the anime when they show this is also fan art too. I was like, oh my God, I did this. I cannot even handle this right now. I was losing my grip on reality. I wanted to pass out when they got in the kimonos. Pass out. I was gagged. Gagged. But there is a part of the show when they're like, okay, everybody, you can take out your phones now and get your best picture if you want to and all that. And we'll do it just for you. And we're going to do something special. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. They did a lot of costume changes. They were in their regular clothes, into the super outfits, into other clothes. They were doing a lot. So this production was real deal Holyfield type of stuff. They were moving quickly. I wonder, within the guidelines of not Sailor Moon. See, I did this appropriately. I did this appropriately. I cut off the music. Thank you. Not y'all can hear me. I got my good life, which I did. It was wonderful, y'all. I highly recommend it. Like, highly recommend it. One of my favorite experiences. Oh. Mm. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh my goodness, we'll get to that monster in a second. My God. Bunny, the fact that Venus and Mars ran down my aisle. Venus and Mars running down my aisle. Venus and Mars running down my aisle. I was like, oh God, this is a sign. The rest of the year is for me. This is a sign. I didn't want Jupiter over there. Could have been for Bleecker because Bleecker loves Jupiter. But I would have been all right if Jupes hadn't been over there. Then we get Mercury. I didn't want that off-key lady over in my section. So I was like, no, you don't run over here with your out-of-breath ass. Now breath control have himself. I did want to see Usagi, but she did middle lane. So I was like, whatever. But when I saw Venus and Mars run down my aisle and Venus gave me a wave, you could have told me I was a kid at Disneyland. And Mars coming up and going, mwah, and doing all that. And Venus going, oh my gosh, let me love it. And I was like, oh, it's too much. I'm in my 30s, Matthew. This is too much to take in. These are not the real scouts. Like, what is wrong with me? But yes, I felt like a kid again. It was so much fun. It was such a great night. The songs were great. The production was wonderful. Everything about it was perfection. I loved it all. It is worth your money and then some. It's worth your money and then some. Get your tickets, get yourself a very nice seat, and just enjoy 95 minutes straight. Getting right to the point, not having you hold up for nothing, all that kind of stuff. None of the sorts. I sat there and weeped a little bit because I was just so happy. I was like, oh, this is just such a great way to like have my first like live event of the year for 2025 be something like this, something that I really, really just enjoy and think is the greatest. And it was just really great. Yes, I know. I kind of mad I didn't do the meet and greet either, but it's okay. It was late and my old ass wanted to go home. I was tired. But if I did the meet and greet, I would have loved to have taken pictures and done the full like and done my. I wanted to do my Venus stance so bad with Venus. I wanted to do it so bad, but I was like, it's okay. It's okay. But no, it was so fun. Yeah, there's a meet and greet. There's a VIP you can do where you can see them afterwards. And I'm not sure if everybody speaks English, whatever, but you get to take pictures and do all that stuff. So it's so much fun. Yeah, I was tired too, Bunny. No shade. We up there in our time. It was just like, okay, it's time to go. Like, I'm trying to make it to the parking lot before it gets really hard to get out of this bitch because they don't ever know how to do it correctly over there when it's time to leave. They just start to remove all the cones and like, all right, get out of here. So yeah, it was a wonderful time. Shout out to Bleecker and Bleeker's mom for, of course, giving me this wonderful gift, and as well as Bleecker enjoying this too, because Bleeker's like, I want to go to this too. Of course, yeah, but it's nice to really spend some time with one of my best friends I love so very much. And, that's my baby. So I was really happy that we got to do it. And it just, I was like, honestly, like just speechless after I left. I was just so happy. Like I could not wrap my head around how like, just genuinely, I'm just like, I got to see the show. And Dooley and C. Diggy were asking me how was it, all that kind of shit. And I'm just like, oh, C. Diggy, please come back. I know you're in Italy having the time of your life, and that's amazing. But bitch, if you get to go, and I know he's a super fan like me, you need to go. You need to go. You need to go. But yeah, 95-minute show. It started at 8 p.m. for us, and the show ended at 9:40 because they were like 5 minutes late because people were still coming in. Oh, that's another thing too. I know we all have things going on, so this is not to the people who like have shit going on or having to fight through traffic or basically cross over town. But if you know damn well when that show starts and you want merch, be there early. Why are you showing up late and then going to the merch line, and then now you're popping up in like 30 minutes into the show trying to find your seat, blocking my goddamn view? Okay, trying to find your seat with your giraffe ass all up in this aisle like that. The fuck is wrong with you? I was mad at a couple people because it was like, how are you just now popping up? And I know you were in the merch line because you carrying a whole bunch of shit. Some people were like, I can get that, but others, I'm like, oh no, she stopped. She went and got things. And then somebody else behind us, I'm gonna tell y'all this now. If you have anything in plastic, just take it out. Don't slowly take it out. because you are not as slick as you think you are. If the entire room is to be quiet, we can hear everything. That's the idea. And Bleeker better than me, because Bleeker at that point in their life where it's like, I'm just gonna say it. And if they mad, they mad. Bleeker turned around. I kid you not, I almost ejected out of my seat in laughter. Bleeker said, I'm so sorry, but I'm paraphrasing as they said it completely different, but this is where they were at. Oh, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to take that out. Cause like all that rustling, yeah. Like just take it out. It's okay, just take it out. Cause it's a lot. Well, this person is literally just sitting here with it like. And they were doing this for 10 minutes because I could hear it. I can't. Like, oh my God, just pull it out, baby. Like, just rip that sucker, drop that shit down, and let it go. But yes, highly recommend. It's a good show. Tickets are not ridiculous either, so if that's something you're interested in, but I know you have to pay extra if it's VIP. But yeah, if you're a fan of this or you just love like in general like Japanese anime or mangas and you want to like see something that you know familiar to your own childhood through the Sailor Moon super live experience, it was a great show, honestly. And y'all know I don't like musicals. I'm not the biggest musical fan. I have talked about that. You got there's few and far in between. I just watched a whole bunch of people sing in Japanese, baby, for 95 minutes and was getting my full life. I'm just saying, for 95 minutes, I sat there and heard a whole lot of words I didn't understand and was living and breathing and going, yes, baby, hit that note. Oh. Let's give ourselves a moment before we start on him because we're about to get into me just reading and tagging and bagging and dragging and doing what I got to do because I got some shit to say about that yuck face mother. Anywho. And I did get my merch. For those of you who don't know, so this is the t-shirt you can get there. This is a small. She fits smalls now. Whatever. All right. Again, thanks again for tuning in. Hit the like button, share and subscribe, become part of this Rant Pack family. Appreciate you so much for being here today. If you want to throw me a little bit of love, it does go a long, long way, whether in the super chat or in the tippy poo jar with a paypal.me/Matty-Rants. Cash App, $ Matt924, and Venmo Matty-Rants. I'm going to try to go live tomorrow, but again, I'm still trying to rest my throat so it can be 100% versus right now it's like at 70 and it's still a little scratchy. So if I don't go live tomorrow, don't think I forgot about White Lotus. Don't think I forgot about Yellow Jackets and all that kind of stuff. Because again, as you can see, I changed it up. Rant Report is going to be about TV shows and movies specifically that I've seen to recap and review on. Let's talk about it. It's going to be where it's the hot gossip talk and things I've done in the week that I was on a physical move for, and it's about my business. Let's talk about it. Did you see what I did there? Okay. Let's talk about it on Thursdays. Rant Reports on Fridays. Saturdays is Drag Race Panel Sundays. Did you see what I just did? I created a new schedule. Did. Let's talk about it. But if you want to drop me a little tippy poo, because let's see how good this, let's see if they are okay with this video. Let's do all that, shall we? Okay. If you're a fan of this person who I'm about to talk about, you may want to step out the room and you may not want to just be here because I'm also going to look at you funny if you're still a fan of this man after everything that has happened, after everything that's been said, especially recently. And I'm not going to be able to talk about everything because he has gone past the point. And he's already been that way. Y'all know when I stopped listening to that man was a very long time ago. It was 2 elections ago, actually, when I just stopped giving a fuck about him. But he is in Hot Topics today. It is something to talk about. As much as everyone's like, why are we talking about him? You're looking at stuff online about him, so let's not pretend. And it's something that I do want to get my claws into, if you will. let's not blame mental health on this, and also recognize that a lot of the stuff that he's saying and words that he's using, and a lot of people that still use that particular word that starts with an R, is a part of the rhetoric that rhymes with Yahtzee, by the way, which is interesting because a lot of people on the internet have been using it more often, and so it's actually aligning with, and you notice that those are the same people that say or use that word that normally, okay. Honey, I was doing some research this week, and Bleeker also, shout out to my Jewish friend, Bleeker was giving me a lot of like, okay, let's go down the line of things, Maddie, and listen to this here. And it's like, oh, okay. It's not Yahtzee. It rhymes with Yahtzee. I'm not going to use the word on my channel because this is YouTube. Does that make sense? So we're not using Yahtzee in a positive way today, unfortunately. Okay? All right. The worst thing to happen to the Black community has arrived in front of our screens. If you've ever seen this digging around in your trash cans, possibly carrying up somebody else's kids into a tree, or maybe stumbling around and foaming at the mouth before it eventually gets taken down, this is what it is. Kanye West has decided to go on another spiral of a rant on Twitter and called out a lot of people. He also admitted to some things and said that he was perfectly fine with certain rhetorics and things and this, that, and the other about him. If you ever see someone's beard and mustache fighting for supremacy in the unkept way, I suggest that you never interact with these kind of people because they're not well. If your beard and your mustache are both fighting for foolishness, no. Now you're giving pubic hair. Here's the thing, and I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that he did say. Let me pull up all of this. That's all of that. That's literally how I have to say it. Let me pull up all of this because it's a lot, bro. Like, let me talk about the things that I can say versus the stuff that he was talking about. He did openly come out and say that it rhymes with a Yahtzee and thinks it's fine. Yes. Openly admitted it. This is also the same man who said that slavery was a choice, but people still followed him in the Black community, mind you. Literally was working against the Black community, but he also blames the Black community for his demise. I'm not even lying to you. This is like dead ass. This is legit the shit he was saying online, okay? Whew. All right, here we go. let me get to the big one. He goes, I'm in pain that no one person can fix. The betrayal. He then lists everybody who betrayed him. Virgil, John Legend, Kim Kardashian, Travis Scott, Cardi, Playboy Cardi, Big Sean, Jay-Z, Ty Dolla $ign, Tyler, the Creator, Dirk, Common, Kid Cudi, Pusha T, Don C, Amber, I'm assuming that bald-headed lady, but I don't know who that is, don't care. The Kardashians, because Kim wasn't enough. Adidas. Demna, Balenciaga, my own kids, my own family, the Black community, and of course, he says the Jews. I'm in pain. All right. So let's after that, and let's talk about this picture. Like, baby, it's friend, it's friend. Everybody around you is not for you apparently at all, like at all. He then went on a rant about not having sex with Iggy Azalea. And the reason why, and he wrote, I intentionally never smashed Iggy because of Cardi. oh, and Rocky, oh, and Pusha, oh, and Tyga, oh, and French, oh, and you get the picture. Notice it's not a black woman. Called her out for some apparent reason. She's dealing with her own, like, trying to stay relevant, having self, and suing Universal Music for all the money that she's owed. Do you hear me? Like, why are you pulling her into this shit? It was, again, very random, which makes me feel like you reached out to her recently and she didn't respond, and this is your way of getting back to her. It's wild. The stuff he wrote about Jay-Z and Beyonce's children. And then having the nerve to then write about Jay-Z later, like, how could you do this to me, after then talking about his children? I'm never going to understand that. Wait, has anyone seen Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids? They're arsler. No, like, literally. And this is why artificial insemination is such a blessing. Having R-word children is a choice. Yep. He then deleted that and said, I need everyone to know that I took the post about Jay-Z and Beyonce's family down and Jerry Lorenzo's family down because there was a possibility of my Twitter being canceled, not because I'm a good person. I took it down like Down syndrome. Get it? Am I right? Am I right? The world, real talk. F everybody. He then posted a very long rant about Jay-Z and how it hurt him so much that he didn't have his back and stopped answering his phone calls and this, that, and the other. And you were supposed to be my mentor. You were supposed to help me and this, that, and the other, and da 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 da. Y'all are gonna stop using that this man lost his mother as an excuse for what's happening here. My mom has been gone as well. I also lost my mother to a very fucked up disease, mind you, and I had to see her literally lose the essence of her in front of me. And I have never crashed out to this kind of level. Maybe because I don't have money, whatever the case may be. I think it's even more than that with him, and I don't even care anymore. I'm not here to dissect and decipher a fool's journey to hell. I'm not. Because that ticket is already stamped, baby. It is stamped. It is signed. It is sealed. It is delivered. It is done. You went on a whole religious little bit trying to, I told you that motherfucker was fake. No one believed me. Oh, but God, no. A mask that he was using to then do things in the background that were all unethical, illogical, and foolish. You can't tell me a man loves God like that and walks his wife around butt-ass naked in public to embarrass and shame her. Nothing about that is actually for, like, her empowerment. That is literally in a whole ritual of embarrassment, an entire ritual of you walking and parading a woman around like that. You're full. Are you crazy? It's time for you to disappear and actually get some help. And guess what? Do that and get it and then be done with it. But nothing you're saying actually makes sense. Nothing you're saying is logical. And I got to tell you, every cornball incel man and every dumb bitch, and I say it just like that, still rides for this motherfucker after he just told you he give a fuck about the black community, blames you for why he is the way that he is, okay? Told y'all he is a Yahtzee, proud and loud, mind you, a black Yahtzee, and is like, yep, living that way. Honey, you look crazy. You look crazy. You can call me crazy. I'll be all right with that. I know I'm crazy for other things that have nothing to do with this and certainly wouldn't drive down the lane of full of fuckery. I'm not done, everybody. There's more. And this is where I'm like, now, Kim, I don't like your ass either, but like, this is what you low-key get for, never mind. This is what you get for low-key driving down those lanes, always looking for black men, you and your sisters, bitch, and now every one of you only want to date white men and you're trying to treat us like a disease, but I'll be quiet. Because yes, that was you, girl. And you know who other artists that did the same thing too, and then all of a sudden they changed up their tune. Now they're all completely different people trying to blame black folks for stuff. I'm not doing this today, but I'm gonna keep it going. Because it is fuck Kim as well, especially since she's working with Tesla with the whole robot situation, and y'all already know about all the other stuff that's going on. So it's definitely fuck her. Okay, but it's less of that for her in this sense, where I can feel a little pity, but I also don't feel it because this is what you wanted. This is exactly what you wanted. You knew that man was off, and you let it go. All right, so this is what you get. Now, Mama Tina, Beyonce's mother, did respond to Kanye in a very polite way. She made a joke. And if I remember, the joke was, what happens when the snowman runs out of ice? He has a meltdown. She called him a crackhead in so many words. Yep. With a smile. While she's on her tour bus, while she was changing her hair and doing all that. Oh, it was so nasty. It was one of the nastiest words too. And then her captions, corny joke time. It's hard to remain silent and classy in the face of ignorance and evil. But I know that no weapon formed against me or my family shall prosper. This battle is not mine, but the Lord's. And I know that my God has got this. Now, and I know that God has got this. I love how all the people who hate, because there's people who just live to hate Beyonce. It's wow. It's kind of sick in the head too. But some people like God. She ain't talking about God. She ain't talking about her God. I said, now, as much as you want to say all that, you don't play with witches, sweetie. So if you want to actually call and clock in and do all that by the power invested be, all right, let's see how strong your faith is. Because a lot of y'all talking Jesus, but don't really be following the word, be speaking on other folks with some spiritual entities around them, this thing. And you be getting hit like, how that happened? Because you weren't really about that life. You just talk that shit. Be careful. That's why you think I stopped speaking so crazy on people lately. Because I just be like, you know what, Matthew, who am I about to argue with? I don't know who I'm walking around. As protected as I know I am in my spirit, I don't know who around me. So, like, the last thing I'm trying to do is argue with a motherfucker that's on the level of I'm throwing the ball in the sea. Let's see what happened. So, like, I feel they're Christians. I'm not gonna pull them into witchcraft, but at the same time, girl, and you know that family got Creole, girl. It don't have to be Mama Tina. It don't have to be Beyonce. It don't have to be anybody in that immediate family, but child, you talking about some kids in that bloodline. All right. All right. Here's the stuff about Kim, though. And this, I was like, Kim, ooh, this is a lot. Kanye made a tweet about Kim Kardashian and his children. He said Kim Kardashian is a blank. I'm going to type it in the comment section. And I'm going to blurt out certain bits of it. Okay? Because I like to keep my channel. The mother of your children. And then you're also pulling your children into this, by the way. Oh, but you're not ready, though, for the gag, because TMZ clocked his ass. And when I tell you, I ain't been on TMZ side in a little while because they've been a little on the right lately. But bitch, it's a lot. Because apparently North was in FK Twigs's video, and Kanye was like, I don't like the Twigs has my daughter in her video dressing all grown, blank. I would have expected more from Twigs. It's blank all you blank. My soul is black. And watch y'all don't believe me and just say I'm crazy. Okay, well then TMZ reported Kim and Ye's co-parenting relationship hit a new low Wednesday as he fired off a string of outrageous posts on X, the most offensive to Kim being the one where he accuses her of what I just posted in the chat, due to North's involvement with FKA Twigs song and the accompanying TikTok. However, sources familiar with the situation tell us the issue of that I cannot say, that I just wrote in there, let's just say traffic and then stop it at that. Okay, great. Already came up last week during an emergency hearing over North. There was an emergency hearing. Are you ready for this? We're told Kim abruptly pulled the plug while North was visiting her dad because security guards informed her Andrew and Tristan Tate, who have been out of the country until someone got elected, on the run, mind you, who have already had allegations as well as video and footage pop up of the things that they have done that are aligned with the accusations that Kanye is making. They were going to be in the home with their daughter. So Kanye was actively bringing two people who are labeled as da-da-das to the house with his children. And you talking about her? So he got mad about that. What, why did they need like crash? I'm over here like, oh my God. Like, what were you what was about to happen to North? Because like dead ass, them people have been walking around like they ain't done shit and they still got things going on, mind you. You saw that they were partying with other people who are also just as bullshit trash as them. Once I saw that footage of academics with them, I was like, oh, this is the mustiest fucking room in the planet, right? But like this is a lot going on. He did type a lot more up. I'm not posting everything. It's way too much. He went on a complete spiral, deleted some, kept the others. I listen, there, if you're still listening to this man's music and talking about how he's a genius, you're a fool. He literally just told you, he said, fuck the black community. That's the one, especially to my black folks. I'm speaking to y'all directly. What? Let him go. Let him go. That man has literally told you he is a fool on that word and all the rest of it. And it's not, it's there's we should not be facilitating this kind of behavior. We should not be encouraging this and going, he's probably speaking the truth. You sound just as wild as him. I can get you not liking certain artists or wanting the entertainment industry to look a certain kind of way because it feels like it all makes sense to you. And that's where it's at, because maybe you're not allowed to be in those spaces. Maybe you feel like you're not close to the spaces, maybe because stories do align and we have heard some wild shit going on. But there are also a lot of people who are out here just crying wolf. There are also people out here just yelling at the sky and waiting for something to stick because they know how impressionable people can be and how naive and foolish folks can be, no matter how old you are. You have your elderly people being scammed every day by fear on the phone. And you can be 20-something years old, a full idiot, sitting here listening to this man going, telling the truth. Girl, let's talk about the truth, and let's talk about how he just conveyed it, and let's talk about his history. He's not redeemable, in my opinion. I don't have any more music from him. I've even requested on my trip, I said it in the group chat, we're not playing his music. And if you do, I'm making it a big problem. I'm making it a huge deal. I'm making it the worst for all of you. I'm going to really fuck this trip up if you play his shit. Him and R. Kelly, no. 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 And Dawn, I wish I could highlight that, but that's one of the things I can't talk about on YouTube. But it's the truth, because there are people who are victims of exactly that, who are then now being like, listen, listen, listen. And it's like, girl, what? Like, you're not even talking about, do you know, in so many families, ooh, I hate to do this, there is so much fuck shit that happens in people's actual family homes that is not addressed, that is not brought to the light, that is not really directly talked about. No one is taking accountability because they're so worried about what the people around them are going to think, about how the public opinion will be, about, you know, how this family dynamic, we're all good here, it's all that, but they won't address the issues, and then they end up alienating the victims, or they end up basically teaching the victims to not feel bad about that situation. And it's normal. I pray for all of you and myself and everybody around me and people who I just may be passing by who don't even know I give a fuck. I pray, baby, because I don't know anybody's story. I don't know anyone's situation, but God forbid that you're smiling right now and you got to turn around and go to hell. Whew. May God have mercy on your soul and you make it through it into a better day, because ain't no way. And sometimes you can't get out of that situation because you're too young. You don't have the resources. You've been blocked in. There are people who financially keep you hostage. It's the truth. And I feel he's one of those people that if Kim didn't have shit going on, he would have done that. If they weren't so powerful in their own entity, and I think that really drives him nuts. If they weren't as powerful as they are, I know. Oh, honey, I know he would have been done damage. Been done damage. Ooh, he's already doing it now. But like, I ain't trusting a man that wears leather pants with no underwear, baby. And a cut off tank. Nope. Can't trust the stank. You look like must. I can make fun of him all I want to, but And then there are people who lie on that shit to break up people's families, to drive a wedge in the home, to destroy relationships. And I know someone in particular I went to college with that almost faced life in prison on this girl lying on him. Life in prison. Family was harassed. He got very lucky because someone came forward after she admitted some shit and basically had to testify that the girl was like, had to reopen the case and everything. Had to quit him all charges. Is that girl in jail? No. And yes, it was a black guy and it was a white girl, by the way. But not saying that always is the case, because it works around town no matter what color swatch you want to be, bitch. I'm just being real. It's a lot of that happens. Men do it too. Is a lot of stuff. So like everybody, it's an equal opportunity for people to be liars, unfortunately. And this guy, to me, I find to be not a truth teller. I think he is a habitual liar, but I also think that he's on a kamikaze wave of wanting to destroy everything around him. If you're not thinking like him, you're an enemy. And that is a problem. That means he can't cohabitate with other people. Dangerous, man. DW, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, my baby. Appreciate you, friend. Fuzzy. Kanye was and is obsessed with B, and was always jealous of her relationship with Jay. Now, you notice that when he mentioned everybody that hurt him, he didn't put her name down, right? Came for the kids. But then when he wrote that post about everybody that just basically hurt him, he didn't write her name down. It was Jay. So his attachment, he's trying to get her. Yeah, and that's not going to happen. Beyonce's not going to respond to you. Maybe in a song. But she's not going to respond to you. That lady going to get you in court. And again, you brought the kids up. Good luck. Good luck. He's mad that Jay-Z didn't continue to carry him, if you will. And I think also that Kanye felt he was bigger than Jay-Z at one point in time in his career. I think a lot of Kanye fans would probably agree with that or say he is bigger than Jay-Z. But if you think about it, Jay is not looked at in any way, in any kind of regard, like Kanye is. Kanye is looked at like a fool and a guy out there who looks stank just doing the most, when Jay-Z is looking like he's on his retirement plan right now, trying to enjoy his family and trying to make sure that those other cases, which they were thrown out, don't come back up again while he's trying to do what he's got to do. I'm not going to touch that because, again, they threw that out. So that's no longer under speculation. However, the girls still like to bring it up, whatever the case may be. Also, hey, Camila, it's interesting that Britney Spears was in a conservatorship and so was Wendy Williams, but this man still has access to his money. I don't know, like, I don't want to speak on that because that's a little, it is what it is, but it's also like, yeah, if you're talking about needing something like that, that feels like that should apply for this man, this situation. I don't wish him the best. I don't wish him the best. I don't wish anything for him. Like I said, he wrote his ticket to hell, honey. He just is waiting for the ride at this point. A Black person who just said they were an active rhymes with Yahtzee? Oh, no, honey. Oh, no. We're good. When you put that red hat on, I knew it was over for you, to be honest. Actually, I was there for when you basically were giving blasphemer by calling yourself Jesus. Then had the nerve to do a gospel album, and y'all was foolish enough to fall for that. I still think that's crazy. He is a Christian. What? Because he's so anti everybody that you think worships the devil? Stop, y'all. He does the same thing. That man ain't of God. That man worships Satan just like the rest of them, if not some sort of demon that offers him entities and things of the rest of it. Please be real. They don't just worship the devil out there. Hello, if you all want to be that deep into the Illuminati and all that bullshit, if you really want to go there, it's all connected to it. But like, there are different demons from different circles of hell they probably will be worshiping. So what are we doing today? I hate that I'm saying it all like nonchalant, but it's really the truth. I also say that because when I was living out in LA, I would literally ride by a house. And again, worship what you worship, but I'm Christian, so it's on me. It is what it is, but I'm not here to judge nobody. But a whole Satanist house I used to ride by that had nothing but all that paraphernalia in the windows, full on like pentagrams and all that kind of shit. And it was very unnerving every time I would go by. I always felt the presence of something bad every single time I rode by it. I had to start taking a different route because I was like, this is too much. I remember every time you come down that street, I was like, can we not come down the street, please? But also, Camilla, happy early birthday to you, BB. Hope you have a wonderful birthday tomorrow. And it's on a Friday, so you got a good birthday. It's right there on the weekend. So yeah, he's a gross person. He's continuing to be a gross person. He will forever be a gross person. There is nothing redeemable about him. There's no interview we can have that's going to change that for me. He has said enough. The hole is dug. The ride is made. The ticket is bought. I'm done. So if he says something else crazy, I'm of course going to talk about it because that's hot topics and that's news. But fuck you, bro. I love how I try to show you all that picture, but this is like, look at this. Like, you can look at now. What about this gives we got it together? What about this says, okay, pay attention to me. Like, let's really go. Like, please. You don't look well. You do not look well. Speaking of big mouths and big fucking heads, Jess not too hilarious. Is this lady fired or what? Is she fired or what? Is she fired? Is she fired? How you end up back at the job to then talk about said job in front of all of us. You loud, wide-faced, dumb, oof. Okay. I don't like Jess hilarious because she's transphobic and homophobic. Okay. And she's made many comments about that, and she is not back down from those things. And she tries to play a, you can do what you want to do. No. Don't believe that. Do not believe that. That she's not safe. And don't, no. There are people who have family members who are also part of the community that like to play like, oh, I ain't bad like that. But when they're not around, bitch, you be talking that shit. So here I'm going to come to you because you're transphobic because everyone thought you were a man for a minute. And so you were mad because people were giving you that masculine tease because you were trying to read a trans woman. She was clocking yours. And all of a sudden it turned into this whole little moment where you wanted to be turf. But fuck off, bitch. Then when they had that little conversation about people being born gay, when you scoffed at that, girl, who are you talking about? Why are you speaking on behalf of anybody? James, anywho, James not hilarious. One thing about this conversation, though, I will give her some credit because, yes, here I go. Black women, when it comes to maternity leave, normally get the shit end of the stick coming back into the workplace. This also applies to a lot of women when it comes to maternity leave, Black women in particular. So, yes, there is some validity on how they handled things at the Breakfast Club when it came to like the segments that were going forward. Let's be very clear, though. Jess is not professional. Jess does not know how to do her job. Jess is not good at doing her job at all. She's not good at doing her job at all. All of her opinions are bias-based. She does not do her things from a standpoint of a journalist. Everything comes with this is how I feel, and this is all of that, versus being able just to get the points across, sort of speaking your piece on it without picking a side, which, again, as someone who went to school for broadcast journalism, you learn to do that unless you work at Fox News. And then you go from there. But she liked to insert her opinions and points on things. She also used to spill way too much information. I was at Shaq's house, and he had 6 white bitches in the basement. Girl, why are you telling us that? Did he want us to know that information? Like, I don't think he wanted us to know that information. I think that was for the people that were allowed in his home to know that information. That wasn't any of my business. None of it. Not even taking up for Shaq, but I'm just speaking on behalf of, I wouldn't let that girl in my house. So her issue is, her issue is with her co-host, who was also a show producer, which I thought was so funny to me because I'm like, so she's a producer on here and she's able to like actually do her job on the show, which she was supposed to be, is it Lauren Lorenzo? She's a gorgeous girl, by the way. But, she's doing her job. This lady right over here, come on, pull it up, man. Do you know I started watching The Breakfast Club again because of her when Jess was on maternity leave? I kid you not. I did. I came right back because I was like, who is that? And why is she able to get the point out that I need to get out? Charlamagne makes his dumb jokes here and there. DJ Envy says something completely out of line, light-skinned, stupid, and then we move on. And then we keep it going. But she presents the points. She presents the facts. And she also conveys it, again, in a journalistic way where there feels there's some integrity upon their words versus being very like, I guess we got to talk about this today, but here's Jess with the mess and all, because that's Jess, right? So hear me out on this. So they hired her as a producer to get the information for like pop culture and topics, and then she was filling in, or she would then speak in on the show. Now, mind you, Jess was mad at this. She acts like she wasn't. And they're like, y'all are trying to pit Black women against each other. No. That's Jess's masculine ass that's doing that because she wanted to bring this up on air live with all of us being watchers to then weigh in on it. It's the same thing with DDG and Haley Bailey. Like, I ain't seen my son in it ain't been that long, Negro. And on top of that, your baby was sick with a very serious like illness. Like, be very, very, very real. And people got in on his ass about that shit. To when the baby finally came back in the picture, he just so happened to be streaming, talking about we did it as if the internet got his child back to only give the baby back to his mama so he can finish a 5, 6, 7 hour stream. Chop. And again, that's their business. They're those parents. But it's that moment of you brought social media into this, so social media can have the point of view and then attack the other person or come at the other people, rally against them because you're the victim. And then they have to, by pressure, basically relinquish unto you everything and be the wrong, and then you get to be the hero, when yet you are the person who is more than likely the one that started this mess, is the drama, is the villain, is the wrong one. Jess comes back. Lauren is actually still like in the position that she was in, filling in for Jess, and Jess is there, but Jess would be on her phone. I love how people are like, man, she can't be on her phone. They be in the radio rooms all the time. I've been in radio rooms all the time. I've been on the radio before, long time ago. True tea. And on TMZ, thank you. But I've been in the back room looking up stuff. The thing is, and the difference is, what I'm looking up while I'm on air, while I'm talking to people, is if I'm not answering a text quickly to move back in, I'm at work, my phone stays on do not disturb even when I'm doing this. I'm looking at the articles I'm actually trying to get my point of view on. Like, say, for example, Lauren's making her like POV. I'm pulling up the article she's talking about. I'm pulling up that information because I don't have it in front of me right now. And I want to make sure, okay, bet. Now let me give you my point of view on this and keep it in. A lot of times Jess wasn't giving to me, in my personal opinion, and again, very biased, also very hateful, okay? And a little too messy. Now, when she comes back, you know, she wants to change up the segment with Lauren. She's like, why is it just with the mess still? Why is it not her own segment, this, that, and the other? But I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense, because really she's doing the work and you're not doing anything. So yeah, give it to her. What are you going to do now? You just going to be there as commentary? You have no background in journalism. You're a social media personality who everyone thought was funny. They talking about she quit or she was fired. She came back in that day. This was so embarrassing. They had the, like there were no hot topics. Jess literally took, and I'm going to say it just like this. You may be mad, but it's the truth. She took this whole moment was a hostage takeover. I'm calling it. That was a hostage takeover. You made sure to do this publicly the way that you did, because one, I know you wouldn't want things to get misconstrued, but two, you thought the public had your back. And it was the way, like, even when Charlamagne was talking and you're like, you're not taking this serious. And Charlamagne's like, this is what I do. Like, I'm not, like, Charlamagne's his own kind of trash panda, in my opinion, but like, I know him for his worth and what he does. And he's there to be the cornball and say some shit that's out of line. That's a little bit like, oh, bordering the edge. That's what he do. DJ Envy, light skin and angry. That's fine. You know, I'm the cool guy, straight, you know, all that kind of shit. You know, I'm cool with that. Not really. But you are supposed to be there just giving like your own take on stuff. You're there with the mess. You never did a really good job at that, just to be honest with you. And Lauren being there, it felt like a breath of fresh air. You definitely read and you did give that this girl took my job and you like her better and fuck y'all hoes. And you thought I have way more people than her as followers that I have, and I'm going to pull up in here and make an example out of y'all, and Lauren little girled you. High key. Because Jess went up there trying to complain and shit and talk about everything that happened. And again, validity in her with the whole situation about being pregnant, having your baby, maternity leave, coming back, and then everyone doing everything like that. I totally get it. It makes sense. How you did this, wild. It came off so bitter. It came off so angry. And it came off so like, why wasn't I? And why wasn't this? And it's like, this is also the nature of the game too. And as somebody who knows for sure you have no kind of background like this at all, and you just got this job because of your social media following, fuck off. Lauren literally went to school for this shit and actually showed up to work, did her job. Now, she stayed longer. They should have told Jess what the tea was. And I still agree with that. I still agree with it. Why didn't y'all give her the heads up? That's fucked up. I'm on Jess' side with that part. It's still fuck her, though, because she's a transphobic, homophobic bitch. But, like, we had to sit through an office meeting, and then you had us call in to give our take on business that was none of ours. It was the most unprofessional display I've ever witnessed in my life. And I was like, okay, Matthew, I should be famous. This is the part where I was like, now, God, I know everything in due time, and maybe things aren't meant to be. But as somebody who you know is fucking hilarious, does a very good job at what they do, literally would take an opportunity like this with the Breakfast Club and turn it into some string that hay into gold, baby. It drives me nuts when I see people who are unqualified in their positions or who do not really know what kind of blessings that they have, and they scorch earth. You could have walked away from this and made something out of it. And instead, you brought it to the house and you said, let's make a mess. No. I would love to be on a radio. I mean, I've already done it again before. It was a long time ago, and it was like online radio, but like I used to do a segment out in Alabama a long time ago. This is like my early years of trying to beat somebody. I even got into a debate with a pastor about like homosexuality. I had to drag that man for every bit of his life. But like, it does bother me. It makes me feel ways. I know other people who are also people who've gone to school for this, or who may not even have gone to school, but their dreams are in passion or in media, that would never take this like that, never do something like this. It's wild as a professional to see this happen. And it took away a little bit of their, because they didn't have a lot, but it took a little bit of their credibility in a sense for me. Imani, exactly. Like, we like Lauren, and it's not because Jess is, well, I mean, I don't like Jess, but if Jess did her job, I'd be less critical about the situation for her. I'd probably be way more on her side. Also, if she didn't say some of the things that she said in the past, I'd be way more on her side. But I used to listen to some of her little bits because on Facebook, they'll post the clips. I'm doom scrolling and I'd see it. I'm like, damn, Jess, can you get through opinion? Can you not insert how you feel about something for 5 fucking seconds and just get through whatever the drama is? Can you not be on that side of the fence? Can you be on the fence for me? Because Charlemagne and Envy can do that. I need you to give A's and B's, not just A. I need you to be able to cross the field. I need you to be able to cross the fence all the time. She's not like that as a journalist, and it's weird to watch. I don't want to watch a show where the opinion's always on one side. Someone's got to say something different. Someone's got to have something else to say. Someone has to be in the middle. She's not that. We like Lauren. Lauren is a breath of fresh air. And she also handled this very professionally. She handled this very professionally. Lauren handled this like a G compared to how Jess was doing it, all up in there in her mom, girl, and all her feelings. Like, girl, get a grab. You're on air right now. This is ridiculous. She thought all this was going to do something for her. And in reality, we're all looking at her like we've been looking at her. A microwave meal, honey. You won't put it in there. It's supposed to be food and nourishment. It's going to taste like shit. It's never going to be good. So I have nothing for just hilarious. She do need time away from the internet as well, but also stop bringing your shit online. It's not up to the public's opinion sometimes. Handle stuff in the background. Get you a lawyer and do work. But don't take this. Please stop. Like, stop taking it to the internet. Ain't nobody want to hear all that. Like, we don't care, girl. Jesus. Could have got Lauren to like back her up, because it didn't seem like Lauren is against her. It doesn't actually feel like that in any kind of way. So it's a little wild how she's acting. It's like, I don't think Lauren knows that you were this mad, to be honest with you, until you said all that on your Instagram live and then brought it into work next day. Like, what? Aniki, hi Maddie, just came from my uncle's funeral. He's now at peace, but we'll miss him. Oh, Aniki, I'm sending you so much love and peace back to your family. I know how it is to bury somebody close to you, and it can be a really tough day. So I hope you get through this day, and I hope that y'all have a lot of good food at the repast, and y'all are speaking about nothing but good memories of him and all the good stuff he did and everything else like that. So all my love to you, baby. I love you. It's crazy because another person in my life lost his uncle today as well. I know you buried him, but he lost his uncle today. So he just hit me up, and I'm like, okay, as soon as I get off this live, I got to go check on him, make sure he good. But for real though, love you, Nikki, and I'm so sorry about today. I hope y'all have a good, just good energy around. But yeah, just hilarious. Kanye West. I said, ooh, my people, what are we doing? Oh, you thought I wasn't going to talk about Jonathan Majors? Yup. Jonathan Majors is on a whole tour trying to get his image back after footage was dropped of, well, not dropped, but release of him and his girlfriend getting into an altercation. I'm using altercation very lightly for the sake of my channel. Where he did lose a lot of his sponsorships and deals and movies and basically was being ostracized from Hollywood. But he's been on the whole tour again trying to get back because apparently the girl lied and it was not reality and we all owe him an apology. And then they released the audio of him admitting to doing the things that he did. Sorry. I was like, what? I mean, everybody cares. That's what they hear. That's why you hear. But like, what? First of all, I was like, okay, Matthew, like, I wasn't gonna go into no sort of, okay, hey, I didn't believe him in the first place. Let's just be real. Yeah, I didn't believe the whole situation. I was like, yeah, it definitely happened. He's just trying to get it back. This is the full bit. Johnny Depp did the full work when he did with Amber. You see how he's still on the low key as well too. I was like, yeah, it's giving that. So everybody's sort of falling into place with this, looking embarrassed as you are. I know the man is fine, but someone's fineness should not negate your morality. Like, you look like a fucking idiot, so backing this dude up. So we get to him on this tour and him trying to be a better man. Megan Good, former pastor's wife, married him. He's a good man, Savannah, all that kind of stuff. Got on the Sherri Shepherd show. Sherri Shepherd, I could not believe you said this. And then I remembered a bunch of things that you said before where I was like, oh, okay. Very that, like, oh, okay. Hold on. Let me look at this person's page. Nothing going on, nothing going on, nothing happening, nothing going on. Okay, will not be taking you seriously. Wasn't going to. Fool. But thank you for stopping by. Moves to Sherri Shepherd in tears. I cry because my son moves through this world in a different way. To see you portray this character touched my heart. They released the footage, or excuse me, they released the audio. He admitted to what he did. Ooh. It's just like that. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on, let me make sure, because if I find out that you are an active subscriber of one of my friends, I'm gonna let them know. Oop. Bye, Patty. Have a good day, baby. Hold on, I'm taking care of some trash real quick. Because when people say I be making stuff up, I'm like, no, I don't. And I love having proof. But continue on. Isn't it? I like that Wendy Williams is, they're about to release her from her conservatorship, because I'm like, oh, is she about to take her show back? Because at this point, you can give it back. Sherri, I don't know if you're going to keep this show, friend. I don't know if you're going to keep this show, friend. I don't know if you're going to keep this show, sister. I don't know what to tell you. Little P, I don't know if you're going to keep it. I'm afraid. Your ratings are about to drop, sister. Because if anybody's still watching you after this, I would be gagged. I'd be gagged. Sherri is a hypocrite, though. No shade. Sherri, I've been on her side a couple of times where I'm like, yep, she ain't lying. But also, Sherri is one of them folks who I can tell is still insecure inside their own shell. And she's still living in the world where she's not good enough. And I can still feel it in every bit of breath that comes out of her body and every word that escapes her mouth. She's still that insecure girl who's the friend. Like, I'm not even playing. She's still the friend. She ain't never main character, and that's the T. And this was giving main character for a while. I was here for Sherry, but Sherry shaming Meg but praising him. Again. No, Siri, nothing, Siri. Thank you, baby. When you build a house of cards on sand, honey, when I tell you that foundation and everything about that home, nothing's gonna last. Jonathan Majors has literally been exposed. It's a wrap for me. Sherry is Alicia, a pick-me. She's very pick-me energy. I don't think her show is gonna last that much longer. I'm gonna be honest with you. If Fox was smart, or whoever is the company in charge of the Wendy Williams show formerly, Norman, I know you can hear this. If y'all can get a hold of Miss Mama and we can get her back on head on straight, hell, if they want to reformat the show, let's get Wyndham's back up in here. At least Wendy was also, I mean, hey, she had to deal with her shit on air too, whenever her husband cheated on her and all that happened after she talked about them other people. So she got her dues online as well, in person. Everything else that happened after that was wild, though, to Wendy. And for me, I thought that was crazy. All right, Stranger Things 5 has released what looks like an AI-generated poster. They still say coming soon for a show that we've been waiting to end for so very long. Everybody looks like grown-ass motherfuckers. Like, what is happening here? Everybody grown. These are grown-ass men and women. Do you hear me? Also, Will? Yeah, don't think I forgot about the shit that you were doing during a certain point in time that was considered really fucked up, handing out stickers and stuff, and that was your way of, let me not forget that, because I didn't forget it. I did not know you were what? It starts with a Z. Didn't know that. That part. Millie Bobby Brown married to somebody and they have a fucking zoo in their house. Hello. This one's hard to look at. He's enjoyable, but he's always going to be cast as the thicker friend. You know, there it is. And he's been getting more work, but he still gives goofy black dude. T. I really want this to end. I'm excited for it because I do love Stranger Things. It was such an awesome show. It has dragged to the point to where I'm nervous this finale is going to be ass, booty, hair, nuggets. Just like with Game of Thrones. I'm so concerned. Like, God, what is this? What is this going to be? Where are you going with this? Where else are we having that? You killed off some of the greatest people that you had on the show. I'm very nervous. Is Stranger Things a scarier version of Hey Arnold? Absolutely not. Stranger Things is like an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark that turned into its own mini-series that continued on and on and on because people liked it so very much, and it was giving a harder rating than the Are You Afraid of the Dark stuff. Yes, that's the girl that Drake was texting. She was 14 at the time, by the way. Giving her relationship advice. But yeah, coming soon. Mortal Kombat. My throat is gone, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, become part of this Rant Pack family. Drop it to be poo in my jar if you feel like it with PayPal.me for /Matty-Rants, Cash App $Matt924, and Venmo Matty-Rants. There are children outside my apartment, and I hate that. Okay, so this is Johhny Cage. This is Carl Urban as Johhny Cage. Y'all are going to be all right with that. That's going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. They are mad on the internet. It's a lot of incels that are angry, you know, the same ones that want all their girls to like have 24-inch waists with like 45 like bust length and all that kind of stuff. Carl looks good in my personal opinion. It's giving Johhny Cage but older or whatever. I personally needed Johhny Cage in the movie because he's a part of the Mortal Kombat like original OG. Like if I'm going to look at Mortal Kombat, I want that. You know, Jack's in the back with his robo arms, his metal arms is great and all that kind of good stuff. And then you got Liu Kang over here. So I'm here for it. I don't know what this sequel is going to give. The first one was nice. For a reboot, Shao Kahn looks crazy. Shao Kahn looked fucking nuts. I'm like, yeah, like Shao Kahn looks insane. I'm here for Shao Kahn. Yes, very, very that, very, very into wherever this is going. He looks crazy. Scorpion is like they're still on that same tip. He's a little bit older. It's a little bit of a different story for those who remember the first becoming in how him and Sub-Zero's like full on relationship and all that jazz. So I was like, okay, bet. Do like it what Scorpion's giving. Excited to see him in action. I am disappointed with Katana. I'm a little disappointed. I'm hoping that there is some sort of color vamping that happens here, something that takes place to where we can make things pop a little bit more. I love the fans. I love the top. Something about this is off. It does give me one of her outfits though, but she's not giving me what I need her to give right now. And I'm a little bit like upset. I'm just like, this is not where I was at. So I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna have to act up real quick. Excuse me. To find out where this child lives so I can tell his mama to send her somewhere else because that's not going to work at all. At all. I don't know why I'm hearing all that shit. But y'all can do that by your stairs, not by mine. Let's see here. So yeah, that's Katana. It's not Kagiving, and I'm not happy about it. But let's see if it ends up looking better later. Who knows? But so far I'm like, oh, okay. Katana. She look. That did not, and that's one of my favorite characters from the series. So I was like, oh no, that's not feeding me. I will say Scorpio, Shang Tsung, but when we get to the world champions, I'm like, now this one right here, anytime, anywhere, any day of the whenever you want it, absolutely. But yeah, we'll see. I want to see the rest of the cast. It is coming out in October for those of you who are interested. I think October 24th will be the release date. And yeah, that's all I have for Let's Talk About It today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I think y'all enjoyed this one. Y'all clocked in a little bit more than the rant report for Let's Talk About It. So we'll keep these Thursday segments and hot topics and sort of news and movies that are coming out. Oh, also Coco 2 is now greenlit. Don't know why, but it's greenlit. So you're getting a Coco 2 for some odd reason. Who else is going to die that we have to go in the afterlife and save? What's happening here? Because that's literally the premise of the movie. So I'm going in the afterlife looking for his abuelo, for his abuela, and then that person that, why is there a 2? Ooh. Snow White isn't looking too well at the box office either, for those of you who may be interested to see it. I'm telling people to go see the Looney Tunes movie while it's still in theaters because apparently Warner Brothers has taken off all the Looney Tunes stuff off of their like networks and things like that. And they're trying to sell it off. And apparently we may never see Looney Tunes again, which is honestly some sad ass shit. That's sad. A classic, even though some of those episodes were racist. But like, it's a little bit sad. I have not watched Win or Lose yet. I am happy to hear that the trans story that they had in place, while they did take out certain elements that were very, this is about a trans person, they still kept the premise of them being trans and the idea around it and the storytelling of being accepted and some others. So I definitely will take a look at it. I have to watch that because here's my Disney Plus list of things to watch. I need to see Moana 2. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I need to see it. I need to see that one. And there's something else that came out recently that I haven't watched yet on Disney Plus that I need to watch. But for those of you who know about Severance, I saw the first episode. You were right. It's an excellent show. I do reactions for Patreon, so if you want to watch them, I'll be posting episode 2 tomorrow. I'll be posting episode 2 tomorrow before I do Drag Race. So I'm excited to take that Severance journey with you. That first episode had me hooked. I was like, what the fuck? And then once I figured out what was going on, I was like, oh. I did watch the newest episode of White Lotus. We'll talk about that tomorrow, Jason. Well, actually, I may skip tomorrow because I'm trying to rest and make sure I'm 100% healthy here. Let's talk about it real quick, Jason. Didn't I tell you the brothers were gross? Didn't I tell you that one brother was super gross? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I don't like that storyline at all. It's disgusting. You know what I thought was crazy though? When Sam Rockwell is having a full conversation about being an Asian girl, then speaking about dressing like a cross-dresser to then get plowed and dowed by some man, and then hiring an Asian girl to then watch in front of his friend he ain't seen in a minute, just having a casual conversation. I was like, what? It was such a wild conversation. I was like, girl, what is going on? This is a lot. This is a lot. And then like you could see the friendship. I knew the actress was at first I thought it was gonna be the Republican that was gonna be the problem. It's the actress. How are you going to push Carrie Coon's character to be with the guy, but then you actually wanted him in the long run? And we know people like that. That's why I was like, oh, it's her. It's her. She's the one. And I bet you money it's going to all explode up later and how their relationship really was in high school. And the other two were never as good as her. And she was always the leader of the pack. And she was fucking over this one then. And then she was also like being messy with this one. And it would always come back and bite her. And she was taking up the grunt. Bet you money. I was like, okay, it's about to pop. It's about to pop. It's about to pop with that group. And Belinda may be in trouble. So we're concerned. No, they didn't Lisa's not even a part of any of that. Yeah, like is that her name, Lisa, or is her name Jenny? I forget who it is. That's the actress on there, but she's dealing with her own issues with the gate guard who can't do his job for shit. And as much as it's really sweet that he's in love with her, he can't do his job. And half the things that are happening are like because of him. Like the dad of the rich family has the gun that he was just given because they got robbed recently. So now he doesn't have the gun. He could be easily fired. And the dad is like planning on basically taking himself out the picture, if not completely having an explosion and going off on everybody. But I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. I'm probably wrong, but this is what I think is going to happen. I think the wide-eyed muscle son that looks like, the sloth from Ice Age, but if he had like a Planet Fitness membership, I think he's going to have a full-on like breakdown because he's so perfect and things aren't this, that, and the other. Maybe he wakes up the next day, realizes what him and his brother did. I don't know. I feel like either him or Parker Posey, the mom, is going to explode because she don't have her lorazepam or whatever the hell that's called. Like, I feel an explosion is going to happen from somebody. Because remember, the beginning of the season, it was like gunfire, and they were like, oh my God, who is that? And Belinda's son was looking for her. We don't know how that started, but we do know that there is a gun in the possession of somebody that doesn't need to have one. So it's like, where is this going? So no, White Lotus has been very good. I'll watch Yellow Jackets tomorrow before I talk about it. I have not been enjoying the season so far. Even Bleeker's watching it, and we're both like, this is some convoluted shit right here. Like, it's just, we don't care about Thais' story as an adult. We do not care about Shauna as an individual because she's an asshole. Misty is literally the whole reason why all this happens. Why should I feel bad for her? You got rid of one of the most interesting characters with Natalie in her adult life, and we're just left with Natalie as a child now. So what the hell? You ate the coach, and now they've been found. So we're gonna get to the storyline of how they were found. Do they like what's going on? So I don't know. We'll get there, but Yellow Jackets has been disappointing me lately. And I haven't watched the challenge yet, so I need to watch that tonight. But yes. All right, everybody. It's past 2 hours here. I went a little bit longer than I should, and my throat is on fire. I need to rest my throat right now and get it into good, position again. I want to use it again. So do me a favor, hit that like button, share, and subscribe, become part of this Rant Pack family. I, again, appreciate y'all for tuning in today and listening to me talk about Sailor Moon, the Super Live. If you get a chance to go to the North American tour, go. It was great. It was amazing. It was such a good show. Shout out to the production, everything there. It was such a good time. And we appreciate you for coming out to the States again, even in this time right now, and giving us the most amazing show flipping ever. If you're a Sailor Moon fan, do it. If you're not a Sailor Moon fan, but you want to see a good musical in Japanese and want to get your full life in entertainment, it's still really good. Because there were some people there that weren't like Sailor Moon fans and they enjoyed the show. You could tell. It was like, oh, that was great. You're going in a couple weeks. I want to hear your experience. You're gonna have a blast. You're gonna love it. So definitely to watch that. It's a good time, and I'm just happy I got to experience that. Shout out to Bleeker and shout out to Bleeker's mom. Also, we talked about Trash Panda West and everything wrong with him. Just hilarious, and her beef with the Breakfast Club. Jonathan Majors try to get back in her good graces again, and well, audio late. And then we talked about Mortal Kombat and why Katana's not forgiving and where other things may go. We also got into some other movies and some hot topics. Talked a little bit about White Lotus. I hope you all had a wonderful day with me. I had a wonderful day with you. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Drop a tippy poo in my jar if you feel like it with PayPal at me/Matty-Rants. Cash App $Matty-Rants and Venmo Matty-Rants. I may see you tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, I will see you Saturday for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, the recap, and of course Sunday for the panel. Anything else I need to say? Oh, all links in my About section. Patreon is available for as low as $1 a month. Merch available at dragqueenmerch.com. Bookable on Cameo. Affiliate partner with Paramount Plus. All that good stuff. So I'll see you later for more. Take care. And again, thanks for choosing me for your afternoon, morning, or evening, whatever the playback is, for enjoying a good time talking about hot topics. Until next time, bye. See you next time.
Listen. Yeah.